say, hey guys, it's Klaus. You know, some tanks are shit and some are great. Some are legitimately great and some are legitimately shit. And some tanks have a very low win rate and it seems like everyone does shit in them. But when you look at the stats and you look at it, you don't really get it. And this is one of them, the Indian Panzer. And let's watch Dridrick 2012 from the TO3 clan. Shout out to you guys. And he's driving this tier 8 German medium tank. And when you look this thing up and you actually look at the stats, it looks pretty good on paper. You know, it has a really good gun with good pen. It has really good gun depression. It has a small turret. It's pretty fast. It doesn't have great armor, but it's, you know, a fairly mobile medium tank tier 8 with a good gun with good gun depression. And when you look up the stats on this thing, you'll realize, or you will see, that it is one of the 10 worst performing tanks in the game as far as win rate. It's down, or I don't know, 47% or something. On average, the average player does so shit in this tank, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to try it again. I played this when I first started the game, and you know, I didn't really know much about the game then, and I probably sucked. And I've moved on. I got the Leopard and the E50 and all that, and I, you know, never played this anymore. But I've just recently repurchased it. I haven't played it yet, but I'm gonna look at this. Look at the gun depression it has. It's got an accurate, fairly fast aiming gun. It was buffed. It's got a tiny little turret so that you're a small target. You're pretty mobile. You've got, oh, you got hit there. It's got pretty good side armor and track, so you can actually side scrape in this thing. I think it has some of the best side armor of any tier 8 medium tank. I'm not kidding about that. Look up the stats. I'm not going to post them all here on the screen, but I mean, stat-wise, and this is the thing, right? You can read the stats and all that shit and get a kind of an idea of what you think is good, and it's not the real story. I mean, a lot of it is the secret stats, and that's why all the Russian tanks are better than what the stats say. Like, you know, like the IS-7 has better gun handling secret soft stats than the Leopard. Right, so you can snapshot people in your IS-7, but you can't in the Leopard. And those don't show up in the stats, but this thing, when you look at the regular stats, it just seems like it should be better, and people should be at least doing, you know, average. Win half the time, lose half the, like even 50%, which wouldn't be that great. But no, this thing is so utterly horrible, stat-wise, and we're talking about hundreds of thousands of games, people in this thing, and I'm gonna try it again. It might take a while, guys. Don't, you know, I'm not gonna post a video tomorrow of me in the Indian Panzer, but I'm gonna put a crew in there and play maybe 50 games and give it a shot. But this thing has one of the worst win rates of any, not just tier 8, of any tank in the game. It's like in the top 10 worst tanks by win rate in the game. But anyway, that's enough of an intro. Dridrick, Didi, let's call you Didi, is, you know what? He's done almost nothing. He's doing some spotting. And he's going to show us how utterly, hopelessly, pathetically shit this tank is as far as the general community is. He's going to do almost nothing. And we're going to see what it takes to get ace tanker in this tank. So far, what has he done? He's done under 1,000 damage. He's taken a hit. He's done a little spotting. His team is winning. And he's lumbering his way up on top of the hill here. His team is taking control of the center of the map, which is good. And this is a good spot for this thing. Like, he's got great gun depression, right? But he's going to, you know, cantilever himself over the edge here, which is probably not the smartest thing to do. And he bounced his shot. Like, come on. There's other places you can poke over this without cantilevering yourself over the edge, like a, you know, like a diving board. One wrong move and you're tumbling down the edge of the mountain. But anyway, so what has he done so far? Like, not much, right? It's riveting gameplay, though, isn't it? But, of course, it's been spiced up by the Klaus Kellerman commentary, which you all find riveting. Huh? You ever think about that? Okay. I mean, look at this gun depression. He can be on top here, and what has it got? I think 10 degrees. This is a German. It's got the accurate the accuracy of the German gun when you're still anyway, and it's got 10 degrees of gun depression. Like that is, that's a rare combination. Maybe people that play the German tanks are just not used to gun depression, like the guys that play the British tanks or whatever, and so they're not using the strengths of this tank, which is, I'd have to say, is its mobility, gun depression, and accuracy. So you should be poking over ridge lines in this thing with the tiny turret and just really doing well, I think. But what has he done? He's still under 1,000 damage. It's near the end of the game. And I think this is about when his team starts to evaporate, because they've decided that the best way to end the game is to slowly approach the enemy one by one. They know where he is. There he is. If they approach him one by one, and if they approach him from the side where the gun is sticking out, then it probably would be the best, for the victory status. They're doing their best to maintain the low percentage. Oh, this guy's getting in the way so he can't kill the artillery and dying. Because, it just seems that this tank has such a low win rate. Like, it was a sure win, and his teammates are trying their best to keep this thing at one of the lowest win rates possible of all tanks in the game. But I mean, look at this. Look at the gun depression. He's, you can't do this with many other tanks. And he's stunned again. Whoa, he's stunned again. Of course, you have to have that, huh? They got to spice up a shit game somehow. But wait, it's not a shit game anymore. Now he's calling help, and all this. Who the hell do you want to help you now? It's 3 versus 3. You had the game in the bag, and your teammates just withered away like Muppets, and now you're actually going to have to do something. I mean, he's got barely any damage. He hasn't done much. He's got to actually go down here and actually use some skill and try and win this game. Now, he's got a couple of artillery. Maybe they can stun the enemy again. But if you look where they're positioned, they're not going to be able to shoot this guy behind this cliff. And they're not going to move because they don't know that P stands for propelled, because they're artillery players and they're clueless, right? They're just going to stay where they've always stayed for 27,000 games in a row and never move and never press the W key because they don't know, right? They just, no one told them that P stands for propelled, and propelled means you can move. And if they moved almost anywhere else on the map, they could get an angle on these two guys, and since it's 3 versus 3, the map is basically open, and there wouldn't be anyone that would shoot them. Even if they moved around the horn there in the northeast side, they could take these two guys out. But why do that? Why not just sit really still where they started and never move? Because that way the Indian Panzer will have a lower win rate, you see. I think maybe it's just a big conspiracy. That every time people get in a matchup and they see this thing on their team, they say, oh, wait, it's an Indian Panzer. We have to make sure that we lose because this thing has a low win rate and we want to maintain that. But just as I speak, I notice that one of the SPGs is moving. And he's moving kind of in the wrong direction. He's going where he will definitely not have an angle on anyone who is behind this cliff face. It's easy. Just look at the mini-map and draw a line from where you are to where the enemy is and see if there are obstacles in the way. And if there are obstacles in the way, well, then move. It's just kind of, if you were up in the northeast portion of the map, you'd probably be able to hit any of these guys. But, alas, I digress. Now let's keep watching this guy, this Didi, in his Indian Panzer. Continue to see him do not very much. Maybe if you stay alive more than 13 minutes, you get ace tanker in this thing. Maybe that's all it takes. Let's keep watching this. Oh, there's one of the enemies. He is looking the wrong way. He's taken a hit. What does he do? What is that enemy going to do? He's taken a hit, and he's stunned again. We don't sing the song when it's an enemy that's stunned again. And he's stunned again. Whoa! We sing it when, when the guy being featured is stunned again. What's the enemy doing? He was stunned again. He's been hit twice now. Is he actually going to turn and face this direction? Is he going to face this direction? I don't know. What is he going to do? Let's see. Maybe he's still stunned again. Or maybe he was stunned before he was stunned again. Let's see. Is he facing this way? Well, you're not going to figure it out unless you poke up there, and you've got a lot of HP, buddy. Maybe you should just poke up there. And he's gone. He's gone. Wow. The SPGs are helping out. So you didn't do it. And that's what you want to do in the Indian Panzer, I guess, is to get ace tankers, not really do too much. Now it's, what is it? It's 3 versus 2. There goes his SP. And you know what? I have to eat my words. That one SPG has moved up, and he's going to shoot this guy up the ass and bounce or miss. I'm not sure what happened. What happened there? Is he going to take a shot, and well, I don't know what happened there. Okay, I guess it's the Indian pet, the curse of the. Who the hell shot him? What happened? Oh, it's the enemy artillery. He's stunned again. Hold on. He's stunned again. Whoa, he's stunned again. Just as I thought the curse of the Indian Panzer was going to ensure defeat. What the hell is he doing? Everything. It's the curse of the Indian Panzer. This thing just can't win. He's winning, and you see, he's missed. The tank just can't win. Please hit. Thank you. Holy shit. That was difficult. Let's check this out. Did he? Yes. Ace tanker. That's all you have to do to get ace tanker in this thing, because it is so utterly shit. 2,000 damage. That's it. You got 1,800 spotting. That's all you have to do to get ace tanker in this thing, because it's got one of the worst win rates of all tanks. There's a curse on this thing, I guess. I don't know what it is. You guys leave it in the comments. Why do you think this thing has one of the worst performance records as far as win rate goes of any tank in the game? I don't get it. I'm going to try it, and then I'll let you know.